श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शतश्मर भक्तिवेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शतश्मर भक्तिवेदांत भक्तिवेदांत नार साई श्री भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शतश्मर भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शतश्मर भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शतर शतश्मर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाय। नित्याल्प विष्णु महाभगवत श्री गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जाय। नित्याल्प विश्व श्री सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जाय। नित्याल्प विश्व वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जाय। श्री रूपानुपर्य गुरु वर्ग की जाय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शार गोसाई प्रभु की जाय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जाय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जाय। सर्व अभिष्ट विदात गिरिराज महाराज की जाय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जाय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जाय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जाय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जाय। श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जाय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जाय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री जय श्रीला नरहरि सरकार ठाकुर की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण भजनामृत की जय। द Āsvāda-vistāriṇī Bhāṣya of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. And jai Śrīla Bhakti-vilas-tirtha Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Tadiya Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai. Shri Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Śrīla Bhakti-vilas-tirtha Maharaj. So, all right, let's begin. We'll begin the Mangalacharan. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Shri Siddhanta Saraswati Tividito Gaudiya Purvanvaye Bhatto Bhanuriva Prabhata Gagane Yogora Sankirtanai Maya Bharati Mingilo Daragatan Udritya Jiva Niman Krishna Prema Sudabdi Gahana Sukham Pradat Prabhung Tang Bhaje Vande Bhakti Vinodam Shri Gaura Shakti Swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhim Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vrishabhanusutan Vitavamatanum Yamuna Tatanagarananda Sutam Murali Kalagita Vinoraparang Pajagodrumakananakunjavido Smara Gaura Gadadara Kelikalam Bhava Gaura Gadadara Pakshachara Shrinu Gaura Gadadara Charu Katang Bhaja Godrumakanana Kunjavidum Tvaivasmi na jivami tvaya vina Iti vigyaya devi tvam nayamang charanantikam Bhaktya vihina aparada lakshay Shiptascha kamadittaranga madhe Kripa mai tvam sharanam prapanna Vrinde namaste charanaravindam Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranams, Nitai Mukesh ji, Chatamai Mataji, Pradumna Prabhu, Mantaramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji, oh, Shripad Bhaktivedanta, Sajan Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams Maharaj. And I'm guessing Indira Mataji is there and Raseshwari Mataji. If you write a comment, I'll see your name. Dandavat Pranams to all of you and Pranams to all the devotees watching in the future. Haribol. We are continuing with our reading of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Bhajanāmṛtam of Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura, personal associate of Mahaprabhu. And we're reading, oh, and Haribol Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Hare Krishna. And Madhusudan Prabhu, Haribol. So we're reading Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura's, it's called the Āsvāda-vistāriṇī Bhāṣya. So it's the commentary that expands one's relish of the topic, and it's his commentary is pretty much, I think, it's just an elaborate translation. So he's giving a translation, and within the translation, he's expanding on things. So that's what we're reading. Just one thing I want to share before we start. I mentioned this yesterday, the day before, but I just want to mention it again because it's, yeah. Something I've been trying out the past 3 days is any topic that I want to think about, I record myself speaking it. And I'm using an app called VoicePal, but you could use anything. You could just record yourself in any way. And I go out on a walk. After I finish chanting a certain amount of rounds, then I turn on and I start speaking about a topic that I want to, like that, a thought that came in my head, and then I go deeper into it. And yesterday I was reading something about the philosophy of Ramanujacharya, and well, I tried to speak about what I read, and even though when I was reading it very slow and looking up every topic and every word that I wasn't clear on, and like I tried to read it very thoroughly, but then when I tried to summarize it in my own words, I could or just speak what I understood from what I read. I could see very clearly what are the places, where are the gaps in my understanding. And so now, after we're finished reading, now I'm going to go look at those places and then really try to understand them so that when I record myself speaking about it again, I will I'll be able to speak more, I'll be able to speak better at those parts where I kind of uh, yeah. And so yeah, I think this might become a daily thing for me, and I'm hoping that by this practice I will, yeah, it will help me not just consume things and then like lose everything that I consume, but I will really try to understand it in my own way, try to make it mine so that I could even explain it in my own words, every different concept, because it's one thing to just understand what you're reading while you're reading it, but then it's another thing to actually be able to like that it sticks with you and you're able to explain it later on. And recording yourself is a really nice way to do that because one thing is that you have to keep on like if I just try to think about it, then usually my mind will get distracted and move on to something completely separate. And but when you're speaking about it, you really have to focus on what you're speaking about, and you have to move in a certain direction, and you keep on going deeper and deeper into it. And and yeah, I mean, it's really nice to be able to speak to another person, but actually, I kind of like just recording because then I don't need to feel like I'm wasting the person's time and it's just less pressure. I'm not like lots of times I'm probably not even going to look at the recording or listen to it, but it's just to like, you know, put me on the spot kind of. All right. So, Haribol Vidilala Sadidi. All right, so as I've mentioned all the time, I haven't read this yet myself. This is my first time reading all of this. So yeah, I'm well first before we start, let's recite Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's pranam mantra to Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura. He says, Shri Chaitanya Charana Kamala Bhringara Shikhanda Shri Narahari Sarakara Thakuraya Namaha. I offer obeisance unto Sri Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura, that resident of Sri Khanda, who is like a bee at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya. And Haribol Gokuleshwari Didi. So yesterday we read, he goes through different objections. What does Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura say? He says that when the avatars of of Krishna Chaitanya Chandra and Nityananda are concealed in this age of Kali, all the Vaishnavas will become anxious. And at almost every moment and every day, the Uttama, Kanishta, and Madhyama will feel doubt. From time to time, many will raise various kinds of objections and keep the Vaishnavas busy. The implication is that although there is no doubt in the heart of a pure devotee, argumentative and skeptical persons will try to disturb their peace of mind by resorting to various arguments. Therefore, it should be prevented. I, Narahari Das, am a fool from Kanda. Yet, by the power of meditating upon the Lord, I will explain this extremely pure Siddhanta, which is difficult to understand, in a concise and detailed way. All these are conclusions of the Mahatma Vaishnavas, that which is written in all the Shastra and ascertains from the activities of Paramahamsas. One second, I am just going to close my door because talking outside is distracting. O scholars, this foolish Narahari should not argue in vain, for how will he discuss such confidential topics? Because whether one has no qualities or all qualities, whether he be a fool or scholar, who is capable of discussing Krishna Bhakti? Yet by the strength of Gaura's mercy, I will explain all these conclusions. I will explain the type of mercy. I was asleep, and I don't know why, but I saw in a dream that I spoke these words concerning arguments and conclusions. At that time, suddenly in the dream, bliss appeared in my heart, and I took refuge in that ocean of nectar. With a sweet smile, Sri Gaurachandra appeared before me, holding the hand of Sarvabhauma, and he said, O Narahari, your conclusions are excellent. Wake up and reveal what you have said in your dream. Saying this, Gaurachandra disappeared. Thus I got up from bed and meditated upon Mahaprabhu's feet. Not seeing those feet, I felt great distress. However, having seen those feet for a moment, I felt blessed. Remembering the Lord's merciful words and great opulence, I don't know what happened to me at that time. Due to that mercy, I have composed this Bhajanāmṛta in simple prose language, even though I am a fool. So then he goes through these different objections. The first one we went through the past 2 days. We read this article by my Param Gurudev, which is very relevant to this. In the age of Kali, only Krishna Nam is a supreme Dharma. If one chants Krishna Nam without offense, then one becomes a Vaishnava and is qualitatively as good as Krishna. Thus, all those persons who chant Krishna Nam are equal Vaishnavas. Yet why do we see inferiority and inequality amongst them? Also, what is the necessity of distinguishing between them? If there is an offense made to a Vaishnava, then an offense to Krishna Nam is also committed. Thus, it is difficult to gradually advance in Nam Smaran and Kirtan. In this regard, it is essential that those who are engaged in Nam Bhajan know appropriate behavior towards Vaishnavas and practice it. Therefore, it is especially a part of bhajan to understand the conclusion of this first objection, to recognize Vaishnavas and be able to deal with them accordingly, appropriately. Now, so we're not going to go into that anymore, but today we're going to see, it says, all Vaishnavas are gurus. Amongst them, one who gives diksha is a diksha guru, and one who gives instructions on philosophy and bhajan is a shiksha guru. It is also a constituent of bhajan. It is also a constituent of bhajan to know how to treat both types of gurus. So that's what we're reading. We'll read that, this explanation to that now. Let's go down. Where is it? Wait, I think if I type in B, I'll get it. Yeah, there. All right, so let's just read the last paragraph of his answer to the first objection. So Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura says, in the age of Kali, only Krishna Nam is the supreme dharma. If one chants Krishna Nam without offense, then one becomes a Vaishnava and is qualitatively as good as Krishna. Thus, only those persons who chant Krishna Nam are equal Vaishnavas. Oh wait, we just read this, sorry. Ah, I need to, sorry, I need to prepare this document better next time. There. Answer to objection B. Okay. So this is about Shiksha Guru and, Diksha Guru and one Shiksha Guru, how to honor both of them appropriately. All pure Vaishnavas are gurus. This is because they all impart potency to the hearts of other jivas through their instructions. Amongst them, the one we approach for diksha is the diksha guru. Those we approach for instructions on bhakti are shiksha gurus. What should be the proper etiquette towards these gurus? This is the question. Obedience to the diksha and shiksha guru is mandatory. If these two kinds of gurus are weak, one should approach another who is a mahapurush with great potency and attain instruction from him. Interesting, huh? If your Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru are weak, then one should approach another who is a Mahapurush with great potency and attain instruction from him. When one studies under that Shiksha Guru, one should never neglect him in any way. A good son earns wealth and offers it to his father, and only upon accepting his order he enjoys it himself. He does not earn wealth and enjoy it himself like a sinful son. In a similar way, a good disciple does the same thing. The Vaishnavas have the same qualifications as the Guru. It is one's duty to worship them in a similar way. Still, it is one's essential duty to serve Sri Guru with body, mind, and words. If at a particular time the the gurus of one's guru notice him performing some erroneous activities and shun him, then it is acceptable to take the side of the superior gurus. Interesting. I wonder if that was a lot more of a common thing at that time for there to be um like the superior guru and then the disciple of that guru who became a guru. And like the gurus in the Param Guru days were still present at the same time, right? Okay. The father should always be respected. I mean, like in Jaiva Dharma, we see was it Prajumna Babaji? No, no. It's Paramahansa Babaji's guru. Was it Prahlad something? I can't remember what his guru is, but there's the guru and Param Guru at the same time. So the father should always be respected as guru. Similarly, his brother, whether he is younger or older, is more affectionate than the father. The uncles are more affectionate than the father. Of course, the father is one's relative. Still, the father's father and the guru of one's guru are worthy of double the worship. This brief method is well known amongst people. If they, the brothers or superior gurus, unjustly condemn the guru during this process, then one should take shelter of the father or the guru. It is one's duty to depend upon the strength of the father or the strength of the guru to maintain one's life. The father, guru, or husband are revered even if they are worthless. It is possible to respectfully disagree with other great persons. Sorry, it is possible to respectfully disagree with other great persons. Moreover, who can maintain their life upon hearing blasphemy of one's father? Therefore, everyone should understand everything from the instructions of their guru or through one's own wisdom. That is the best principle. In this way, the guru will consider you as a servant. This is the highest dharma. However, if the guru gives absurd instructions or misbehaves, then the guru must be rectified with good advice in private. If he becomes purified by that, then he should not be rejected. So interesting, huh? Hmm. Gurur apyavaliptasya karyakaram ajanata utpata pratipannasya parityago vidhiyate. Not knowing which activity is proper or improper. If the guru involves himself in dishonest activities or accepts the wrong path, then a similar kind of rectification should be prescribed. This kind of action is beneficial for both the guru and the disciple. Taking shelter of Sri Krishna is the inherent nature of Vaishnavas. The Mool mantra of Krishna, singing about the qualities of Krishna, describing Krishna's fame, and narrating Krishna's beautiful pastimes are the very life of a Vaishnav. That is why everyone should be guided by listening to the words of the Guru and using one's intelligence. This is the gradual progression of sadhana. In this way, wherever the Guru becomes a follower of imposing philosophies or becomes antagonistic, forgetting that the jiva is an eternal servant of Krishna, following the evil philosophy of Mayavad or materialistic Smartavad, or does not accept the blissful, praiseworthy pastimes of Krishna and proudly abuses Krishna, then that Guru must certainly be rejected. One should not be concerned with, how can I reject the Guru? Greed for attaining Krishna bhakti and obtaining Krishna requires the shelter of a Guru's feet. Yet when one observes all good qualities in a Guru and takes shelter at his feet, but then later, due to bad association, many asuric inclinations arise within that Guru, then what is to be done? Leaving that asuric Guru. Asuric means demoniac. Demoniac's kind of an intense word, but yeah. So leaving that asuric Guru, one must worship another Guru who has bhakti for Śrī Kṛṣṇa. Gradually, by the potency of a Guru who is a true devotee, the material energy stemming from the asuric Guru's anger will be destroyed. This consideration is hidden within the bhajan of the divine Vaishnavas. During the advent of Śrī Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya, there were many similar conclusions concerning the definition of Guru. This is actually like around Navadip Parikrama time, there were two people, they were disciples of some Guru, I won't mention who the Guru's name is, but they were starting to see that their Guru was actually, they're starting to have doubts in their Guru. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the details, but it's so interesting for good reasons also. And so this is interesting that, yeah, that it's explaining all this like in a really clear way. Okay. Okay, so that's the answer to that. Objection B. Now, answers to objections C through H. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth objections of the opponents have been discussed all together. Let's see what those objections are. Okay, so I'm just going back to the first chapter. It says, Śrī Kṛṣṇa is Swayam Bhagavan. Balabhadra is his vilas angsha, his pastime expansion. Thus, he is one half of his form. How do we understand all the subtle differences between Swayamrup, Tarikatma, and Vilas? These subtle distinctions must be known in order to worship the Swayamrup Krishna. Okay, so we're going to learn about Swayamrup, Tarikatma-rup, and Vilas. Then number D, whatever. Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu are the Prabhav avatar Purushas of the qualities of passion, ignorance, and goodness, which are produced by Krishna's Maya. Amongst them, Vishnu and his Shrangsha Tattva, his personal expansions, are worshipable. The other two avatars, Brahma and Shiva, are subordinate Vibhinangsha forms. They are separated parts of Vishnu. By understanding this tattva, bhajan of the Supreme Lord of all becomes pure. Okay, so now, so first is understanding what's the difference between Swayamrup, Tadikatma-rup, and Vilas. Next are Brahma, Vishnu being Swangsha Tattva and Brahma and Shiva being Vibhinangsha, separated parts. Now the next one is Lakshmi resides on the body of Krishna, and she is known as Vaishnavi and Ishwari, the female counterpart of the Supreme Controller. What is the duty towards her for one who desires to perform bhajan? It is essential for every devotee to know what their conduct should be towards all Vaishnavas equally. And then the next one is many potencies are seen. Amongst them, who is the Adya Shakti or Pradhan Prakriti, the primordial potency? And then the next one is Krishna's wife is Rukmini, and Ram's wife is Janaki, who are forms of Lakshmi. What is the proper behavior towards them by one who desires to perform bhajan? And then the last one is Srimati Radha is Vrindavan Vilasini. She is the ornament of Vrindavan. She is the ornament of Vrindavan personified. Who is able to give pleasure? And she is able to give pleasure to all due to her artistic skills. What tattva is Radha? Amongst all these potencies, Rukmini, Janaki, and Radha, who is the original inherent potency, and which potency awards the greatest blessings towards Krishna in the form of bhajan? There are many opinions concerning these topics. All right, so we're going to hear the answers to all these objections today. Śrī Kṛṣṇa is Bhagavan, endowed with all potencies. The desireless Brahman is not separate from him because he is the effulgence of Krishna's form. Interesting. The all-pervading Paramatma, anyways. The all-pervading Paramatma is the specific expansion of Krishna. Krishna is the all-inclusive Supreme Person, the moon of Goloka. His shadow potency is Maya, who possesses the three material modes. And his main three qualitative transcendental potencies are the Hladini, Santini, and Samvit. One second. Okay. He possesses, so his main three qualitative transcendental potencies are Hladini, Sandini, and Samvit. He possesses all opulence, pastimes, bliss, skill, bhav, arts, expertise in madhurya ras, etc., and such attributes, which are infinite in number. They're so infinite in number that they are incomprehensible. They are assembled within his Chid Ananda Swarup, his form of spiritual bliss. In order to manifest his Sarva Prabhutva, that means his sovereignty over all things, in order to manifest his sovereignty over all things, through his own potency, Śrī Kṛṣṇa combines all the avatars of Vaikuntha within one tattva and remains eternally existent. Śrī Kṛṣṇa, who resides in Goloka Vrindavan, possesses a pure form comprised of pleasure pastimes, which are full of bliss and replete with bhav. He is covered and surrounded by the network of sangsar, and the aforementioned various qualities of chit, spirit, and achit, matter, consisting of the 14 Mayic planes of existence, along with their mountains, trees, and creepers. His Swayamrup, his original form, is not manifest to us under these circumstances. His independent desire is known as Kala, as time. Kala arises at the beginning of creation. Then the Adya Shakti, who possesses all potency, manifests and appears as the servant of Krishna. I want to see if there's a mention of Adya Shakti in any other books. 1 second, I'm just opening up folio. Adya Shakti. First, I'll look in my Gurudev's books. Adya Shakti. 3 references of Adya Shakti. Shaktas consider Mahamaya to be the primeval potency, the Adya Shakti, whereas Shaivites hold that it is Umapati Shiva who is the Paratattva. Okay, just looking here. Okay, so in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it says, Maya, who alone is the mother of the cause and effect of the illusory material world, generates the delusion of unreality in the form of knowledge and ignorance, liberation and bondage, and other dualities. Being the embodiment of ignorance, she covers knowledge of the absolute truth. She is therefore indefinable, because her form or nature cannot be described. She is also non-eternal. She is anitya. Because when the living being receives knowledge of his constitutional position, his Swarup Gyan, the influence of Maya is destroyed for that particular soul. Furthermore, she is the shadow of the spiritual potency, the Chit Shakti of the Lord, and so is named Adya, or beginningless. Because she is the cause of the living entity's material existence, she is known as avidya, or ignorance. By spreading ignorance, she becomes the cause of the repetition of birth and death for a living being within this material world. So Adya here is translated as beginningless. I'm just looking for another. Now, in Navadip Mahatma, Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura says, hearing Parvati's words, Pashupati Shiva remembered Sri Gauranga and said, O Parvati, you are the original potency. You are the Adya Shakti, a portion of Sri Radha. I will tell you about this topmost truth. Okay. So Kala arises at the beginning of creation. Then the Adya Shakti, or the beginningless Shakti, or the original Shakti, the original potency, who possesses all potency, manifests and appears as the servant of Krishna. I think in the form of Maya, right? Or wait, no, let's scratch that last thing I said, because now it says, at that time, taking the form of a Vaishnavi, Lakshmi, the embodiment of wealth, becomes a housewife and is perceived as acceptable by all persons. Now please listen to the description of Adya Shakti Rukmini, Janaki, Radha, etc. Radha alone is Krishna's Adya Shakti. When Krishna separates his expansions and Parashakti, his superior energy, along with their various qualities from his form, and descends within the Vilas Vigrahas, such as Narayan, etc., then that Parashakti, who through her potency manifests all the consorts amongst those avatars, i.e., the Lakshmis in Vaikuntha, etc., is herself perceived as she who is replete with pastimes, who is impartial, in other words, who defeats all other types of dharma, who possesses great love, and who is expert in all kinds of transcendental arts, who is most wise, who is beyond words, who is the sum total manifestation of the modes of nature, Pradhan Gunamai, the form of Sri Radha. That Adya Shakti is Bhavamai Radha herself. Before that manifestation as the Adya Shakti, another form of Radhika is perceived, who is intrinsically absorbed in the ocean of joy that is Krishna. Then she does not experience her own nature, which manifests as Vilasamai, the female relisher of pastimes, and does not experience Krishna as Vilasamoy, the male relisher of pastimes. Wait, so then she does not, wait, I'm not following. So the Adya Shakti is Bhavmaya Radha herself. Before that manifestation as Adya Shakti, another form of Radhika is perceived who is intrinsically absorbed in the ocean of joy that is Krishna. Then she does not experience her own nature which manifests as Vilasmai, the female relisher of pastimes, and does not experience Krishna as Vilas Moy, the male relisher of pastimes, to be an individual form. However, Krishna Premamaya Radha herself inherently knows the power of Vaishnavi Bhakti, and Krishna Chandra eternally experiences his own intrinsic nature and that of all potencies at all times, asserting that he is the sole supreme who is one without a second. This is indeed a supreme secret. Therefore, Shastra says, Purusheshu yata Krishna, Strishu Radha tataivahi, Anyastad anuyayinyo yata pungso nuyayina. As Krishna is amongst all men, so Radha is amongst all women. Just as other women follow Radhika, other men follow Krishna. Moreover, Gauri Shakti, that's Parvati, is born from the body of Radha. She becomes the advisor to Shiva. Eager to see the pastimes of Radha Krishna, she ardently prays to Krishna to attain this boon. In Gokul, she takes birth in an elderly form as Purnamasi to witness the pastimes of Radha Krishna. Thus, as an expansion of Yogamaya, that Gauri Shakti, as well as the Lakshmi Shakti, who is the embodiment of wealth, are separate expansions from the body of Radha and are incapable of understanding all of Radha's pastimes and avatars. What more can I say? Even the original person Brahma, what to speak of other Vibhinakshas, other separated expansions of the Lord, he cannot comprehend all of Radha's pastimes and avatars. It is clear from this that the mystery of Radha Krishna is extremely subtle and beyond ordinary perception. Therefore, Brahma and others are inherently unaware of the mysteries of Radha Krishna. They can know something only by achieving the grace of Krishna. All these principles are mentioned in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam thus. And now he's going to give these evidences from Srimad Bhagavatam. Nayam Shriyonga u Nitantare rate prasada Swaryoshitam Nalina Gandarucham Kutonya Rasotsavesya Buddhadanda Grihita Kanta Labdashisham Ya Udagar Vrajasundarinam. In the Rasa festival, the indescribable grace received by the charming beauties of Vraj from Krishna's arms around their necks was not given even to the most exalted Sri Devi, Lakshmi, who attains the highest bliss, who is adorned with the fragrance of lotuses, and is situated in her celestial abode. How then will such mercy be accessible to the wives of the Devas? Wasn't even accessible to Lakshmi Devi herself. One second. Ityada, etc. In this way, there are many such shlokas from the Bhagavad. Gunamaya striya sarva pungmangshangscha gunodbhava radhatu nirguna krishna nirguna samata katam. This is 21. The conclusion of the Shastra is this. Lakshmi and other consorts are endowed with qualities. In other words, Lakshmi possesses the quality of prosperity, and Brahmani, the wife of Brahma, Bhavani, the wife of Shiva, and Maya are also endowed with qualities. The Lord of Paravyoma, Narayan, is that personality who possesses the quality of opulence. And Brahma, Shiva, etc. are personalities who possess qualities comprised of the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. However, Radha and Krishna are nirgun, they are beyond the modes of nature. How can other men and women compare to them? In this regard, the term nirguna refers to that supremely sweet quality which is transcendental. Lakshmi reigns in Vaikuntha. She is the crown jewel of the devas, of the demigods, and the supreme beloved of the Lord of Vaikuntha. Narayan considers Lakshmi to be his own consort and is completely captivated by her charm. As Brahmani is to Brahma and Bhavani is to Shiva, so too the mind of Narayan is captivated by her, by Lakshmi Devi. In this way, in all the tattvas of Vilas avatars, Shvangsha avatars, and Vibhinangsha avatars, there is a manifestation of the potency of the avatars of Radha. And for the males, there is mood of allegiance to the rules associated with Swakiya, the mood of legal consorthood. Wait a second, let's reread that. So in this way, in all the tattvas of Vilas avatars, Svangsha avatars, and Vibhinangsha avatars, so all these different avatars of Krishna, like Balaram, Svangsha avatars, like different like Nrsingadev, Vaman, etc. Different forms of Vishnu, and then the Vibhinangsha avatars, so Brahma and Shiva. So in the tattvas of all these avatars, there is a manifestation of the potency of the avatars of Radha. And for the males, there's a mood of allegiance to the rules associated with Swakiya, the mood of legal consorthood. Thus, when the Lord is seen in his avatar of joyful pastimes, accompanied by Radha, he transcends all rules, and his mood is fully independent. In other words, he is unencumbered by the restrictions of Swakiya Bhav, free of any confined mood, and unrestricted in implementing his own desires. For that reason, in Sri Vrindavan, at the age of 12 or 13, Śrī Kṛṣṇa abandons the relationship of his mother and father, as well as communal affection, and remains indifferent to all rules. Śrī Kṛṣṇa, who minimizes the restraints of rules, and whose inherent nature is like that of a supreme Paramahamsa, that Krishna enjoys the company of Radha and her expansions in a hidden grove in the most confidential divine forests of Vrindavan. Any action that occurs in those pastimes of Raj, Krishna, the crest jewel of experts who possesses opulence, prowess, and skill, manifests all necessary arrangements. Okay. O devotees, consider in your own hearts how descriptions of Radha and Krishna are something which is inherently indescribable. You should analyze this. In these pastimes of Radha and Krishna, all the rasas that possess that highest prem are complete. Their nature of supreme bliss, these pastimes of Radha and Krishna, all rasas that possess that highest prem are complete. Their nature is of supreme bliss, and they are the very life of the topmost Bhagavat Paramahamsas. At any place or at any time, there is no such display of supreme welfare than this. These pastimes of Radha Krishna are heard due to great fortune over many lifetimes. How to describe the extent of Radha's good fortune? See, just see, Sri Uddhav was aware of the good fortune of queens like Rukmini, but he was astonished and enchanted upon witnessing the mood of Radha and the Gopikas. All of this is described in the Bhagavat. He forgot the mood of all the queens. He saw the insufficiency of his own bhakti in the mood of servitude. He saw the insufficiency in his own bhakti in the mood of servitude, dasya bhakti. The sentiments expressed by Brahma himself about the gopis of Gokul are also known. Once, when Sri Narad went to Dwarka and inquired about the mysteries of Radha, so that at that time, Śrī Kṛṣṇa himself, while discussing them, remembered Radha's bhav and became overwhelmed with prem, and respectfully sent Narad to Gokul. Narad thus witnessed the manifestation of Radha's bhav, and deliberating upon Krishna's bhav that he had previously seen, he forgot himself. When he saw Radha and Krishna completely, he praised them, and becoming absorbed in prem, he considered himself to be fully successful. Then he analyzed and observed the bhav of Rukmini and the other queens. In this regard, there is a Puranic shloka. Sorry, I lost my spot. 1 second. Puran. Okay, so in this regard, there is a Puranic shloka. Ratna Chaya Churita Jalad. Sorry. Ratna Chaya Churita Jalado Mandire Dvarakayam Rukminyapi Prabala Pulakod Bhedam Alingitasya Vishwampayan Mrisrina Yamunatira. Sorry. Vishwampayam Masrina Yamunatira Vanirakunje Abhirastri Nibhritak Charita Dhyana Murcha Murare. I messed up that meter. Oh, I think this is the same as the last verses of Upadeshamrita. I was trying to do something else. Okay. So this is from, this is a Puranic shloka. He says, although he was in a jewel-studded palace on the ocean in Dwarka, being tightly embraced by Rukmini, Murari. So even though he was in a jewel-studded palace on the ocean of Dwarka, being tightly embraced by Rukmini, Murari, who protects the universe, lost consciousness by meditating upon the gentle character of the wives of the Abhiras in a bamboo grove on the banks of the Yamuna. It's Padyavali 375. Wow, what a beautiful verse. That'd be a nice one to recite in front of Jagannath. Okay. The meaning is that in Vaikuntha, the direct embrace of Vaikuntha Lakshmi in Swakiya does not produce the ras that he experiences from the gopis of Braj, even when he is far away from them. The independent pastimes of Radha Krishna that occur in this Braj of the subtle Goloka are not experienced in other areas in Goloka, which are only suitable for the bhavs arising from other rasas. In the secluded forests of Vraj, in Goloka, the eternally independent, unrestricted Shringa Ras shines forth in its purest form. Again, by the will and potency of Krishna, they manifest accordingly in the material world. Such unparalleled ras is not experienced anywhere else. The teaching here is that due to his eventual good fortune, the jiva takes refuge in Harinam and gradually engages in bhajan of the Lord's form. Then from the form, the Lord's qualities. And from the Lord's qualities, the Lord's pastimes. And by the power of service to the sadhus, he follows the mood of the gopis of Braj and attains the eternal service of Radha Krishna. Wherever Shri Krishna sports in playful or amorous pastimes, at that very place, he remains absorbed in meditating upon Radha with attention. Elsewhere, it is known that by depending on the activity, the various kinds of friendships he shows are, elsewhere it is well known that depending on the activity, the various kinds of friendships he shows are all deceptive. What he manifests in Vrindavan during the time of the Rasa Leela is the essence of all avatars. This is what the Shastra says. It says, Radheti kim idam nama vidhina kena nirmitam sarveshvaro hi Śrī Kṛṣṇo yasya kinkara dasavat. Sorry. Oh no, yeah. So the Shastra says, which creator has made the name of Radha? Chanting this name, Krishna, the Lord of all things, has become a slave to Radha. Yasya kinkara dasavat. Radheti mohanam nama ayoni krita agatam shad aishwaryam ayam krishnam shringare kritavar dhanai. I do not know how the enchanting name of Radha, which is without beginning, has appeared in this world. Thus it has purchased Krishna, who possesses all opulence, with the wealth of Shringar Ras. Haha nishkaruna radha kva gata gunavigraha kona sankhya bahusthane labda brahmitavan prabhu. Having gone to many places enumerating her many glories, Lord Shri Krishna cries out, "Alas, alas, where is that merciless Radha, the embodiment of good qualities hiding?" Where is that Radha hiding? All these statements are confidential. Indeed, extremely confidential topics are being ascertained. It is a supreme secret, supremely auspicious. Great care should be taken while listening with all due caution, especially in the presence of women. The meaning is this. In the mysteries of Radha Krishna's Shringar Ras, men have no eligibility. In this world, one must give up identifying as men and women and follow the mood of the gopis, the women of Vraj, who possess Vrajarag, the amorous love of God. Listen to information about Ras. This bhav cannot be given to some jivas, since it is even beyond the rishis and the shastra. If Shri Krishna, the very life of all, had not descended, where would we find such bhav? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Dev has manifested as the embodiment of supreme bliss. He is capable of revealing the potencies of all avatars. Specifically accompanied by the servants and maidservants of all the other avatars, he uniquely revealed the principle of the association of Radha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya is the intrinsic manifestation of all avatars. This is affirmed by all great devotees. I'm just seeing how much is left because it's almost 8 o'clock. Do you want to finish this? We're not so far from the end. It means we'll go over like 3 minutes. I'm going to finish. So if anybody needs to go, Dandavat Pranams, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, I'm just going to read for like another 3 or 4 minutes. Listen to one secret about him. Shri Krishna, endowed with all forms of enjoyment, pastimes, adolescence, etc., enchanted the women dwelling in the forest. He was able to enchant them in the manner of an ordinary equal individual. Despite being a renunciate wearing a kopin and the simple cloth of a sannyasi, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu immersed those persons who are like a herd of bulls, impersonalists, those blinded by the objects of the senses, so-called yogis, materialistic followers of karma kanda, those who are constantly consume liquor, the chandals, the yavanas, the foolish, housewives, etc. He immersed all of them in an ocean of prem. Through that flood of prem, he purified everyone's desires and crushed their demonic natures. What more can I say? Imbued with supreme bliss, he bestowed Gopi Bhav, the mood of a female, upon men, and led them to Goloka Vrindavan, situated above Vaikuntha. Enthralled by a fraction of Sri Krishna Chaitanya's Bhav, and seeing the Bhav of Sri Gadadhar Pandit, many Vedantists such as Sarvabhauma and sense enjoyers such as Pratapaditya, is that supposed to be Prataparudra? I don't know. Prataparudra? I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, Vedantists such as Sarvabhauma and sense enjoyers such as the king, Prataparudra, they were imbued with the bhav of the gopis and began to dance in the mood of a female. What to speak of Ramananda Rai and other Vaishnavas? In spite of this, wow, even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya began to dance in the mood of a female, imbued with the bhav of gopis. Amazing. I haven't heard that before. What to speak of Ramananda Rai and other Vaishnavas? In spite of this, Sri Gadadhar Pandit did not reveal Radha's name and nature in this world. Sri Radha is Sri Gadadhar Pandit, and his identity and bhav have been explained by his followers. Concealing his own name and identity in a hidden form, Sri Gadadhar Pandit, concealing his own name and identity in a hidden form, Sri Gadadhar Pandit chants the glories of Sri Radha and Krishna with deep sentiment. Sri Krishna Chaitanya did not reveal anything other than Radha Krishna. He imbued the whole world with bhav for Radha and Krishna by revealing their wonderful Shringar Ras. Simply by hearing the name of Radha, or merely remembering it, he would resort to lamenting, weeping, rejoicing, and leaping. Yet he kept Sri Gadadhar hidden. Okay, now this is the last section. Just as Sri Krishna Chaitanya is the primary manifestation of all avatars, so also Gadadhar Pandit is the primary principles embodying all feminine potencies and opulence. Just as Krishna Chaitanya is nirgun, beyond the modes of nature, so too is Gadadhar Pandit. Gaur Gadadhar differ in their physical relationship as well as in the qualities of their nirgun relationship. Hence, Gadadhar Pandit's own swarup, his own intrinsic nature, is the Radha Bhav Vilas, the pleasure pastimes of Radha's Bhav, of Gauranga. He associates with the devotees in his immediate manifestation. In terms of opulence, Lakshmi, Rukmini, Sita, Katyayani, they are the foremost beloved companions of the Lord. Pandit Gadadhar is the embodiment of all these forms of the Parashakti. Friendship arises between two parties with mundane qualities. Deep attachment arises in two parties with transcendental qualities. Interesting. So friendship arises between two parties with mundane qualities, and deep attachment arises in two parties with transcendental qualities. Friendship between those with material qualities and those with transcendental qualities does not have a deep bond. Krishna is the possessor of all potencies. Thus, his friendship exists everywhere. That friendship is established due to the skill of his various potencies. Yet those friendships are not natural. Krishna is indifferent and is actually characterized by his primary mood, which is full of pleasure. The union between Radha and Krishna is completely natural. In other words, it is svata siddha. It is perfect in and of itself. Therefore, the meeting between Krishna Chaitanya and Gadadhar is also svata siddha. It is also perfect in and of itself. And it is the wealth of the devotees' lives, that meeting between Krishna Chaitanya and Gadadhar. If someone says that the meeting between Gaur Gadadhar is of a different kind, then one should not look at such a person, or one should not even look at such a person or touch them. They are unqualified to attain the lotus feet of Gaur Hari. The opinions of those who are materialists, who quibble over the Puranas and the so-called scholars, they are never stable. For this is, they are never stable. This is evident because they have so many differing opinions. Alas, what misfortune! Alas, in regards to spiritual matters, they are doomed. Therefore, in this world, the fortunate Paramahansa devotees are experts in analyzing what is chit, what is spirit, and what is achit, what is matter. The devotees are actual pundits because they have crossed beyond the dense bewilderment of this material world. A devotee possesses all good qualities because he penetrates Maya's weak modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, and achieves the mode of Vishuddha Sattva, pure goodness. Devotees are happy because they have overcome mundane happiness. Devotees are happy because they have overcome mundane happiness and distress, and attained the divine happiness of Raj. Devotees are fearless because they have transcended the Mayic time factor of past, present, and future. and have become pure residents of Goloka. May the devotees live like this, may the devotees live like this, yuga after yuga, and by their sight, touch, and words, may they benefit the unfortunate persons afflicted by Maya. Okay, so tomorrow we will read just the last third of this Krishna Bhajanāmṛta. The next chapter is called The Process of Bhajan. The Process of Bhajan. And I think that's the end. Yeah. All right. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Madan Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Param Gurudev Ki Jai. Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Swaparshad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Jai Shri Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura ki jai, Shri Krishna Bhajanāmṛta ki jai. The what is it called? Āsvāda-vistāriṇī Bhāṣya of Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai, Jai Śrīla Satchidananda Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Vilas Tirtha Maharaj ki jai, Tadeo Shubha Avirbhav Titi ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Vancha Kalpatarubhyashta Kripa Sindhu Bhyaeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat Pranams Gokuleshwari Didi, Nitai Mukesh ji, and Ganga Mataji, Shripad Bhaktivedanta Sajjan Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams Maharaj, Rohini Nandan Prabhu, Madhusudan Prabhu, Vidyalala Sedidi, Meena Podel, Vangshiwala Prabhu. Vidyalala Sedidi is saying, Prabhu, is it possible for you to please share folio? I mean, Bhakti base and Acharya base? I've got folio views installed already. I would really like to have all the books of our Acharyas in one place and be able to search through them and copy text from them to make notes for personal study. And then she says, I have found a free way to install folio views on Mac. It is a little bit complex, but I would be happy to serve devotees who would like to install it on Mac by guiding them step by step in the process. Okay, yeah, that's the difficult part. I'm happy to share with anybody and also with you, Vidyalala Sadidi. I can share the Bhakti base and Acharya base with you. Bhakti base is like Veda base is all of Srila Prabhupada's books and all BBT books and like that. And Bhakti base is all my Gurudev's books. And then there's another thing called Acharya base, which was compiled, which is made by, what is the disciples of Bhakti Gaurav Vaikanas, sorry, what is it? Bhakti Vaikanas, no, Bhakti Gaurav Nrsimha Maharaj. And it has every devotional literature I can think of. Like all different. I can show you. Yeah, I'll show you right now. And I'm happy to share this with everything. But the difficult part is setting it up on your computer, which Vidyalala said that's the part I can't help you with. But Vidyalala Sadidi said that she can help you with that, setting up the folio program. And then you load these different info bases into that program. So I can help with that part. I can share the different info bases, and Vidyalala Sid can help you set up this program. So look at this. This is Acharya base here. And look, Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas. I'm not sure if you can see because the text is kind of small, but look, it has everybody, all the book, like all the translated books of, translated into English of Baladevi Vijayabhushan, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Shri Goswami Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupada. So I guess those are books of Srila Prabhupada that are not part of BBT publications. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, all his books. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Guru Goswami, Gopi. The list goes on and on and on. Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghava Pandit, Prabodhananda Saraswati, Nityananda Das, Narottam Das Thakur, Narahari Sarakāra Ṭhākura, Vallabhacharya, Vishnu Puri, Yadunandan Das, Murari Gupta, just like all these different authors. So I can share this with you. And then there's other Sampradayas texts, historical works, Mahabharata, Ramayana, etc. The Vaishnav Digdarshini is pretty interesting. Then all sorts of stuff on deity worship, the Puranas. So many stuff. I mean, so much stuff. So yeah, if anybody wants that, let me know. I can send it to you, I guess, over Google Drive. But as I mentioned, I only share with you the info base, but I can't help you set up the program. Vidyalala Sadidi will help you set up the program. All right. Are there any points or anything that anybody wants to mention before? Vidyalala Sadidi said, yeah, I can arrange for a Zoom meeting and help anyone who would like to install it. Okay, so then I'm guessing, Vidyalala Sadidi, that you're fine with me sharing your contact with anybody who wants help setting it up, right? Yeah, so then, yeah, message me and I can share with you Vidyalala Sadidi's contact so that she can help you set it up. Wow, that's so kind of you to do that. Yeah, it's so helpful in my seva, being able to look up things. Well, yeah, it's really helpful. And at some points, they should, because this is like a really old program. At some point, I think now with all this new technology and AI stuff and all these new possibilities, I think in the future there'll be a much better, more searchable, just like the best version. Because this program feels a little bit outdated. It works, it does the job, but yeah, that's my dream. And now we have access to so many more texts in all different languages, and even the texts in different languages, there's like the AI translation is getting pretty good. And so just it'd be amazing. Like there's no limits of what we can access. All right. Nobody has anything to say, then I'll end for now. And tomorrow we will finish Krishna Bhajanāmṛtam. And then in just 2 days is Ram Navami. So tomorrow we'll finish Krishna Bhajanāmṛta. The day after that, we will celebrate Ram Navami, Ram Navami. I don't know how we should do that. And also it's Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, so we'll read his glories. Maybe we'll do a few-day program because there's so much to read about Ramachandra, and then there's also so much to read about Śrīla Bhaktivinoda Ṭhākura Goswami Maharaj. So maybe we can do like a 3-day program for that or something. Vidyalala Sadidi says, I have another one from ISKCON as well, which has ISKCON version of books by our acharyas and other ISKCON authors. Wow, cool. Well, is that this folio? I think that's folio this, right? This right here, the complete teachings, because this has a bunch of other authors and ISKCON writers and editions of Back to Godhead. I think this is what you have, right? Or if you have something other than this, yeah, please share it with me. All right, Dandavat Pranams, everybody. Hari Bol. Just looking at the comments from last time. Oh, and Gokuleshwari Didi is asking, is there anything similar for Windows? Actually, it's made for Windows. This is a Windows program. And the difficult part is getting it set up on Mac. That's the difficult thing because you're trying to get a Mac thing to work on Windows. So. Oh, and I just see a message from Narahari, Nri Hari Prabhu and Pavatarani Mataji. They said that they're going to listen later. They're busy at the moment. Okay, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhu. And Mataji. All right, Hari Bol. See you all tomorrow. Jai Shri Radha.